Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and would you rather have all your tattoos done in disappearing ink or live on a Mobius strip made of barf? We ask the important questions here, and I expect some answers. But, GERDERK! GERDERK. If you say that really fast a few times, it sounds like the opening to a particularly hyperactive Primus song. I love that. So, this was $3.49, and it was the cheapest knife on Amazon I could find at the time of purchase. I am really liking the idea of this video series. This is going to be a thing. But, you know, we got to cover the old ground for the guys that haven't seen this thing before, so let's do that. It'll bother me if I don't, and it'll bother you if I don't. So, first things first, and importantly, there's no pocket clip, which is a bit of a bummer. But, you know, you got the steel frame right here, you've got a slip joint, and the walk and talk are kind of crusty. Like, that right there when it opens is pretty solid, but the half stop here is just a half muddy, weird spot that doesn't feel great. You know, the blade is 2.5 inches of steel of some sort. It just says stainless. So, you've got all the pieces for a functional knife. You know, and this chromed out finish, it's just got that sweet stank of flea market on it. I mean, it really does. And, you know, I look at this thing and I can hear some dude asking whether or not a used tire costs too much. And I can see the guy in the corner with a cigarette rolling machine handing out Lucy's to the adults. Like, this has got that flea market vibe. You know, there is some gas station on it too, but, you know, it is just a down and dirty, cheap knife. So, because there's no pocket clip, I had to put it in my back pocket. And in the back pocket, this thing rode very comfortably because this is very it's not that big, and, I mean, it's pretty much gone. There's a tiny bit of dingus in hanging out here, but, you know, it's gone. So, this thing carried in the back pocket very well. Like, I did not notice it. I was actually kind of happy it was back there for no reason other than the weight was a little bit reassuring. And, you know, it did well. I fed it the plastic on the pallets. It cut it surprisingly well. The factory edge was definitely surprisingly decent. I fed it a few pieces of cardboard, and it really sliced nicely. Very slicey. I gave it some of the double wall stuff, and it took it without a problem. You know, cannot find complaint there. And then we have some heavier duty plastic strapping holding some of our shippers together, and I actually gave this a piece of that. And while the edge was fine and not super toothy, it slid, but whenever I got it just right and put the pressure on it, it popped the strap and it wasn't a big deal. You know, pleasantly surprised with that. You know, it popped the strap. It didn't feel like it rolled the edge in or anything like that. It actually held up to that. You know, and it's not a ton of use there, but, you know, guys that had knives that cost more money and they do one of those straps and they got a rolled spot. So, you know, I don't know what the steel is. We're going to assume the lowest tier possible. I'm going to assume 420 series. Possibly 3CR. And it's, again, like, it's time for us to move away from, you know, 420 CR series steels, and just D2 needs to be the baseline and replace 8CR13. Now, that's not going to happen because 8CR13 and below are so cheap and in such huge quantities that, you know, it's not going away anytime soon, but we are overdue for it. But, you know, overall, this thing, it carried very well. It did what it needed to. Let's take a look at how the edge held up. Because, again, I only fed it a little bit of cardboard, but we have had blade steels where just that little bit of cardboard was enough to cause some issues. And popping one of those straps was definitely enough to cause some issues with it. You know, some guys have had better knives that did worse. Oh! Oh, we got a bit of a snag, so maybe that plastic did more damage than I thought. Hello! Okay, this is a development, because I haven't actually done this test since I got home with it for the week. Then again, I just caught a couple of bad cuts, I guess. Yeah, that is a mixed bag of results. So let's see where the snag is. Oh my god. I love trying to do this under the camera, but we need the information. Okay, so the snag is right here, because I remember this thing pulled a pretty good number when I did the sharpness test. So let's see how that one area does now. So that may actually be a significant bump in the number of grams it takes to cut this. We're at 424. So it looks like that strap may have done more damage than I thought, because let's break out another clip and let's see whether or not farther back where I didn't cut has a better number. I did not expect to see that snag. Like I said, this is I've done several takes because I couldn't get the vibe right on the first few, but I hadn't gotten to this point in the video yet. So now we're just locked in on it. Like, we're not doing another take. But curiosity demands we do this. And you guys need to know. 219. So yeah, this spot right here where I cut one strap and fed it like 3 cardboard cuts. Like I said, I don't do a ton of cardboard damage to them before we get done because I want that factory edge for cardboard slayer. That's where the real edge retention testing's done. But literally, this was 3 cuts about 6 to 8 inches long on some double wall cardboard and 1 plastic strap. So that is where the weakness shows up. Like, I started recording this expecting to be pleasantly surprised that it held on to an edge that good. And wow. So yeah, this is some bottom tier stuff. Jesus Christ. GERDERK! You're breaking my heart! GERDERK! I love saying that. GERDERK! It's just fun to say. But I mean, again, $3.49. Like, I'm not surprised by the fact that it did that, but I'm kind of surprised that I expected it to have a better edge than this, and that much damage off of that few cuts. So, you know, and again, the only use case scenario I can see for this is having an absolute burner of a knife somewhere that, you know, you may, like having it tied off to a bag or something like that, where you might forget one when you leave the house or something like that, or you got like a nasty cut you don't want to use a better knife on. But I mean, really, those use cases are really limited. I still say it was a fun purchase for $3.49. This has been a couple of great videos out of it. But, whoo, expectations for Cardboard Slayer are low. I'm going to have a backup knife for that, you know, just backup knife and everything. I'm going to have to plan ahead for this Cardboard Slayer stream. So my predictions on that is we're going to get about a half hour out of it before it craps out. This may be the new Hall of Shame champion for edge retention. You know, I can't put this in the official Hall of Shame because we bought this knowing it was probably going to be pretty bad, you know. The Hall of Shame is reserved for stuff that we think is going to be okay that winds up being trash. We bought this expecting trash, and we got trash. You know, and it's kind of sad, too, because, like, the construction quality, it's there. Like, the only thing really bad about the construction quality is the half stop is just not great. So that was a fun week, and good God, that was an interesting result, guys. That was not what I expected on the edge retention cuts. The copy paper apparently didn't lie on this one. Copy paper's weird, too, because you can have a knife with a pretty big dull spot that'll cut right through it, no problem. But this, whew, nope. You saw the good cuts, and then you saw the bad ones. And, man, that was just so much worse than I expected. But this is why we do this. This is fun. So, you guys saw it now. If you didn't know that this was going to be a bad knife, you turned it fear cursed. So, yeah. All that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea what a subscription does for us. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got more giveaways coming. We have got our live streams. There's plenty of stuff for you to do and watch here. Comments or let some feedback. Let me have it. What do you guys think about this thing? And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.